right, welcome in. It's episode 32 of Rhymer on the Road. Scott and Ann, glad you're following along with us. If you're watching us in real time, you are just concluding your Thanksgiving holiday and hope that you had great times with your friends and family. We did, which will be a part of episode 33. You'll have to stay tuned for that.
Right.
But it has been a lot of fun here in California. Of course, Rhymer on the Road. If you really want to know what's going on Rhymer on the Road, you gotta go to Instagram.
Rhymer on the Road on Instagram. I posted some stuff yesterday.
All right, there you go. If you're not watching this in real time, that's okay too. I hope you are enjoying whatever time of season that you're watching Rhymer on the Road. All right, we always let you know before we go into our episode where we're headed next, and that is...
We are heading to Redwood Valley area of California and the Clear Lake area of California.
Yeah, moving slightly inland as we begin to make our way from Oregon and Northern California down into the San Francisco area. That's all coming up just around the corner, but looking forward to that. So give us your feedback, whether it's hikes, whether it is restaurants, whether it is must-see things to do. The Redwood Valley area and Clear Lake is where we are headed. But for now, it is a recap and a cornerstone of wrapping up the state of Oregon, as episode 32 is from Bandon by the Sea, Oregon. Roll the tape. Here we go. We are at our farthest west that we're going to be on our trip. You see Bandon by the Sea on the Port of Bandon in Oregon is our furthest west. So from here on out, it's all east till we get back home. So it's been a wild ride to get this far out here. So far away from the East Coast. Of course, our furthest east was Acadia. Our furthest north was North Cascades National Park, and then this is our furthest west. You'll have to stay tuned to find out our furthest south. But here we go. Now let's go get us some food. right, so we're chasing sunsets in Bandon, Oregon, and we've been on the Pacific coast for a couple weeks, but it's a rarity because it hasn't been sunny enough for the.
This has been. Now we got one quick sunset right as we came into northern Oregon and Nehalem, but it was a little overcast. It had some clouds in the sky, and we missed it before the actual sort of sunset. It was a cloud sunset, and so this I saw earlier today. I was like, we need to add this to our list because it was just clear, which is a rarity as we have seen in our travels. So
yeah, even when we were in Waldport, and you got to see a decent sunset, but it still had clouds in it. Here, right now at least, and we're just a few minutes away from sunset. We are almost cloudless. There's a little thin line of clouds on the horizon that might help it or might knock it down a little bit, but one way or the other, good idea. We were right here in Bandon, just 5 minutes from our campground
location. Yeah, and it's low tide or at least, I mean, because it looks like tide could come up as far as we are. So,
and the craziest
might not be a good place.
No, well, you wouldn't be able to stand here high tide. And also here in Bandon, Oregon, sunset is at 4:51 p.m. That's so early. Daylight saving getting us. How did we pronounce it? Do we know?
No.
Langlois?
That's what I would think.
Market?
That's what I would think.
They're world famous hot dogs. So
we actually came into the town and it had a sign, world famous Langlois. And we were like, well, why is it world famous?
Why is it world famous?
So we looked it up, and it was because of these hot dogs sold at the Langlois Market. So we were like, well, we got to come back. I mean, they're world famous.
They're world famous. Good price. And then supposedly, what we didn't do, we may have to go back in if we really like it. You can buy the mustard.
That's right.
The hot dog is supposed to be known for the mustard, I think.
Right. It's like a sweet mustard, pickle, and onion. That's it.
Yeah, no chili, no onion for me.
So.
You can have my pickles.
I was going to say, you're not going to eat the pickles either.
You get double pickles.
Double pickles.
It is a sweet mustard. I can smell it.
It's a big hot dog. Smash it.
It's good.
Good hot dog.
It's a hot dog. It's hard to mess up a hot dog. One of us got a small bag of chips. The other person got the bigger one. Anybody want to take a guess? And there's a reason, right?
Well,
there wasn't a reason.
I didn't want the cheddar. This one only came in the big size.
I did see where they get their hot dogs somewhere in Oregon. I saw that, but they cut off the skin here after they arrive or whatever, so that it's a skinless hot dog, which I like. Skin sometimes will, when you bite through it, it squirts all over you or whatever. So that's a nice touch.
Very good. know, Becky, you're not supposed to tell everybody what they picked. Hey, and I saw Marina sent a text that came through. I think it came to the Pokino group. That's right. All right, y'all ready? All right. Queen of clubs. 4 of diamonds.
Well, that's a couple of generations apart. That Ford truck and that Ford truck. It's pretty cool. That's a old truck and a new truck. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Go get her, go get her. Good boy. Okay, just a beautiful, cloudless Oregon crisp November morning as we are packing up, about to get moving on our next adventure. We'll still be in Oregon when we have our next stop, but that'll be the last time we'll be in Oregon. We will then be moving into California. So wanted to give you a quick look at Bandon by the Sea RV park, where we've been now for 6 nights. So let's take a look. All right, there you see we're beginning the process of dumping over there our tanks on Alley, and you can see the beast up there. Some condensation coming off of Alley this morning. As I mentioned, just a beautiful blue sky above us, which has been in the Pacific Northwest not the norm. And we've had some, but more than others we've had some clouds and some rain. So here's the park. Most of what we've seen in this park has been people who are either long-terming it or who are seasonal. Very few have come and gone inside Bandon by the Sea RV park, but nice little grass area here, which is always good when you have a dog. And you can see the different rigs over here to my left, and kind of around in a rectangle on the back side here. We've been on this main road here towards the front of the campground, which is right up a ways here. And there has been, in the 2 sites beside us, some people come and go during our stay here. Nobody was here for very long, but they stayed for a night or two. So there were a couple of times we had a neighbor, but for the most part, no one's been beside us. You can see these are nice size concrete padded sites, full hookups here at Bandon by the Sea, or at least where we are. And as I mentioned, the front, that's Highway 101, just on the other side of the building there. And we are just south of Bandon by the Sea, which is the town closest to us. So, and that by a couple of miles. So this is really a good location. It was easy to get onto the 101 to get to all the things that we wanted to get to. And again, just a nice secluded site in terms of not having people right up on you. And it's worked out really well for us. So looking forward to enjoying this beautiful Oregon blue sky on our trip down to Grants Pass, Oregon. About a little over a 2-hour trip. So as always, slow is pro, and getting there safely is the #1 key. All right, there you go, episode 32, as we wrap up our several-week journey through Oregon. And this is just an opportunity, I think, for you to comment on Oregon in general. We did quite a bit in it, so we've, I think, got a pretty good grasp on it, and I definitely think it's a state that provides a lot of great scenic views.
Yeah, no, of course, we concentrated on the coast mainly, other than outside of Portland. And so I think there's a lot of areas, the inland area, that I'd still like to explore, you know, Crater
Lake
National Park. We didn't get to do that. We looked into doing that, but snow had already closed the scenic route. Bend, Oregon, I've heard some things about. So there's definitely some areas I'd like to hit. But the Oregon coast, I feel like we have covered, and it was beautiful, and would absolutely do it again.
Yeah, I totally agree. It kind of got like repetitive in some respects, not in a bad way. It was just so it doesn't really matter what region of Oregon you go to, whether north or south. If you're headed to the coast, you're going to see some great things.
You're going to see some great things, and I think it is totally worth it to add it to your bucket list.
Yeah, this time of year, of course, we went in November, is considered the rainy season. And quite frankly, it did rain some, but very few days were washouts. They were more overcast and maybe a little bit of light rain.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple of sunny days. So I would say overall, we really lucked out, if you want to call it that, and being able to do everything we wanted to do, even though it is a rainy time of year.
Right. And then we discovered the king tides hit in the winter, and so fall winter. So we did get to experience one of those king tides. There's another one coming up next week. So I think a lot of people actually kind of set their schedule around those king tides. So it was spectacular. So if you are planning on coming and you can rope it into one of those king tides, I think it will be even more spectacular.
I totally agree with that. Final thoughts on Oregon, I would say, is it is a little hard maybe to get to in terms of major airports in the general area. You've got Seattle, but that's a good little haul down to especially the southern part of Oregon. Then you got Sacramento and San Francisco, but you got to go quite a bit north. So it may be a little bit of a challenge to get there from a major international airport.
And of course, Portland, it's pretty big, but we didn't see a lot of flights in and out of there that worked for us coming from the East Coast.
That's right. So there you go. Episode 32 is in the books as we wrap up Oregon, and we're now in California where we celebrated Thanksgiving. Stay tuned to episode 33. We had some very special guests with us, and we had an amazing time in Redwood National Park. As Ann said earlier, we're headed a little bit south of where we are now in California to the Redwood Valley, and we're looking forward to that, and you can stay tuned for updates on that as we go. And again, follow Reimer on the Road on Instagram, and don't forget, everybody, whether it's Thanksgiving or any time of year, do it today.